All right, thank you, Vicki. It is 7:45. And what about this? Is it possible to lose weight and still eat pasta, bread, and cereal? Could eliminating carbs altogether be bad for your health? The Herbal Pharmacist David Foreman is here to explain. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Thanks. So a lot of people have a hard time dieting because they feel like they do have to cut out breads and pasta, but you say there are options.
There are definitely options. It's more about where your carbs are coming from, and the more refined or processed, we now know that those have a more significant effect on your weight. Same amount of calories, versus fruit or a pasta, you're going to gain more weight eating pasta, even though it's the same amount of calories, because it's more processed, converts to sugar. So I've got some things here to help people realize that, you can still have your bagel in the morning, but you need to slow down the carb, and you slow it down by adding more protein, usually, and good fats.
So let's talk about that. No carbs versus slow carbs. What does that mean, and what are the things that people can eat?
So I have a bagel here. Instead of putting butter on it or nothing at all, put on nut butter. I brought almond butter. Almond's my favorite because it's heart healthy. It's a good fat, good protein, complex carbohydrate, so it'll slow down the negative effects of that starchy food. Starches are what we're really trying to avoid, but they're so addictive because they do convert to sugar, so we're trying to slow them down.
And what about the bagel itself?
Well, the bagel itself, actually, there's a recent study out showing that actually the part that was heart unhealthy in a bagel for breakfast was actually what you put on it. I'm sorry, not what you put on it, but actually the bagel itself. So butter was actually better to eat than the bagel itself.
Oh,
crazy!
Yikes.
I know, right? I like butter. I work for the dairy industry.
Okay, and then what about this sandwich?
All right, so this is a sub. Obviously, you're not going to go without the bread, so we need to slow that down some other way. And there's an extract that comes from white kidney beans called phase 2. So your local pharmacy, health food store, the ingredient's called phase 2. It's a starch blocker. It'll negate about 65% of the starch. So you can enjoy your sub, you can enjoy your bagel, you can enjoy your pasta, but it's going to block that starch from being broken down so you don't get the negative effects. So it's called phase 2, and that's just the ingredients, like saying vitamin C. Huh. Yeah, kind of cool. It's a great way to cheat.
And then I see you have some pasta here with some beautiful looking shrimp.
Yeah, the American dinner, right? Pasta with a little red sauce, probably no meat in it anymore, so you can get it out of a jar. Throw on some grilled chicken or salmon or shrimp, and you're going to slow down the negative effects of that pasta.
Now, some people think, oh, well, I have whole wheat pasta. Does that make a difference?
It depends. Read your labels. When you start getting a lot more ingredients, unless it's stone ground, they're going to, even though it's whole wheat, they've factored out a lot of the nutritional benefits. Fiber is probably the biggest thing that you're missing when you get the more processed grains. So. Yeah, stone ground. I think it's because of the pieces of stone.
Now, a lot of people do think that they need to cut carbs out completely, and you say you shouldn't do that.
No, we were designed to get carbs. Carbs are good. It just, again, it depends on where they come from. If it's fruit, vegetable, nut, seed, those are great. But when you're talking about the more processed, starchy things, that's the negative because, again, it converts to sugar real easy. The way you can block it from converting to sugar so easily is either add more protein or using something like the phase 2.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
We
appreciate all of that information. And thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
It is 7:49 and still ahead on Daybreak this morning. The author